On October 8, 2018, Hurricane Michael underwent a 48-hour rapid intensification period where it went from a Category 1 hurricane to a Category 4 hurricane. By landfall on October 10, 2018 at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, Hurricane Michael was an unprecedented for the region Category 5 hurricane, making landfall near Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. Hurricane Michael was the strongest hurricane in recorded history to make landfall on the Florida Panhandle. Landing with sustained winds of 161 miles per hour and a minimum pressure of 919 millibars, the storm was the fourth most powerful hurricane to hit the United States, spreading devastation far inland through many counties in northwestern Florida, from Bay County, Gulf County, Calhoun County, even through Jackson County and Leon County, where the state capital is located. Hurricane Michael was unique in that it maintained its major hurricane status all the way through the Florida-Georgia state line. As it entered Seminole County, Georgia, it was still a strong Category 3 hurricane. Across northwestern Florida and into the state of Georgia, Hurricane Michael was responsible for $25 billion in damages. These are the 31 voices of Hurricane Michael, representing the many unique experiences and perspectives of the community members who endured the storm and its impacts. Voices of hope, empathy, pain, lessons learned, grit, determination, and extensive insight into one of the most catastrophic hurricane seasons the Florida Panhandle has ever encountered. I'm meteorologist Melissa Thomas, and allow me to introduce you to
Hello, I'm meteorologist Melissa Thomas, here with another one of the voices of Project Hurricane Michael's Voice. Today we have Jerry Dilsaver, who brings a very unique experience for the storm in that his wife was away on a cruise while he rode the storm out. But to start off with, how was Panama City home to you to begin with?
I arrived here in 1991. I fell in love with the beach, and pretty much I've been here ever since. So it's going to be 30 years in a couple of years.
So you've really seen it grow?
Yes, from nothing. There was nothing on Front Beach. Miracle Strip Amusement Park was still standing where it used to be. There was nothing on Back Beach Road. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And now it's everything.
It is what it is today. So leading up to landfall of Hurricane Michael on October 10th, 2018, how were you feeling that summer, that hurricane season 2018? Were you prepared? What was it like?
I knew we were due. We haven't had a big one hit in a long time since Opal. And I knew we were due because we had a very active hurricane season last year. And
so have you been through a hurricane?
Yes, I've been through several. I've been through Opal, Ivan, Irma, all kinds of them.
Ivan was a significant one.
Ivan was he was a pretty good one.
So the storm rolls in that afternoon. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
My cat and I are just sitting there at the house waiting for...
Tangent, I am so sorry. Let's pivot back. When did your wife leave for her cruise?
She left on, let's see, he hit on a Wednesday. I think she left on a Sunday.
Okay.
And she'd been gone 3 days, and we contacted each other that night before, and 3 days later, nothing.
Now, I know when you go on a cruise, you're kind of limited to the availability of like outgoing communication and incoming communication, cell signal wise. Were you communicating very much as the storm was growing? Are you talking to each other as this thing is brewing in the Gulf?
When the storm actually got in the middle of the Gulf is when she lost her signal, but she could see mine, I couldn't see hers.
And she was on a cruise in
the Caribbean. She went to
Haiti.
Not
in the Gulf.
No, she went to Haiti. When the storm hit, she was stuck in port in Haiti.
Okay. So she reached out to you. You two were able to make contact the evening before the landfall.
That was it. And then until about, I think, Friday afternoon, after the storm, when I was able to get cell service, is when the first time I contacted her. She was worried.
She didn't hear from you for almost 2 days.
Nobody did. Nobody heard from me. My son, he was in Louisiana. He was worried about me.
What comes to your mind out the gate regarding the storm, your experience of the storm?
The
Was it
devastation.
during the storm or right after the storm?
The devastation.
Right
It
after
was
the
just incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. And you get a hold of your wife on that Friday. So
Yep.
that was very important.
I had to drive all the way to 331 and Interstate 10 and go to a Best Western hotel to use their Wi-Fi just to get on the phone.
Yeah.
And she was, like I said, she was in port, so she didn't get any cell service or nothing until she finally got a message. I think it was Saturday morning, and then she called me. So it was a few days until she got a hold of me, and it was a really rough 3 days.
I can't imagine. She's a loved one on the outside of the storm. It's her home. It's not even, there's a lot of perspectives that I want to touch base with eventually of loved ones that may not have lived here but had to experience the storm on the outskirts of it, wondering about their loved ones. But in this particular situation, she's not only worrying about a loved one, she's worrying about her home. You know, it's her husband. She was on a vacation, and it rolls through while he's, batten down the hatches and rides it out with his cat, I believe. Correct?
Yep, my cat Dixie.
Oh. And Dixie's a beautiful cat. We will make sure we put pictures in there for everybody to see Dixie. A man and his cat through the storm.
She survived. She was swimming in the bathtub when I got back home
Oh,
in 2.5 feet of water.
I'm so glad she was okay.
It took me 2 hours to get to her.
Yeah.
I had to walk through trees, power lines, around trees.
Now, did you ride the storm out in a shelter?
No, I rode it out with a friend of mine, Ed Waller.
Okay.
He called me or texted me, told me to get to his house.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing I did because, number one, my car would have been gone because it was flooded outside, and my car would have been halfway underwater.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing I went to his house and ride out the storm with him. I should have taken Dixie. I wish I could have, but he had 2 dogs, so.
And thankfully, everything ended well on that front. Dixie
Yeah.
is okay.
Tree went backyard. Right about that. Get right here and go right about that roof. I see that tree in there.
Yeah. Hurricane Michael, October 10th, 2018.
Put it over this out back here. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to shoot it. Hello. Hey, it's bad, boy. Okay, we got at the girl's house, the trees on the line there. That big tree behind Auger's house. That's what they're
So this is what 150 mile an hour winds feels like, huh?
When you park, I'm glad you did. Thanks.
Yeah, I know. There is supposed to be a underground pool in here, but there is nothing but down trees. This is my neighborhood. Underwater. No help in sight. All underwater.
I've heard a lot of different eyewitness accounts of how far inland water, the storm surge and rain contributed to flooding and the amount of water that was just so far off the coast. Everybody was dealing with flooding due to the rainfall, and a little bit closer, to the bays and lakes, a little bit of storm surge that just funneled that water in all around the county.
And Lynn Haven is in a valley anyways, so all that water it had nowhere to go. So it decided to flood everybody's house. Yeah, we lost about 80% of our belongings. All of our furniture is gone. We just purchased a brand new washer and dryer. It was gone. Very nice NASCAR collection. Cars from the 1980s, 90s till now. They were all in packages, boxes. They all got wet. Yeah. And they're worthless now.
And you were able to salvage some of them.
Yeah, we were able to salvage all the cars, but like I said, they're worthless.
Yeah, not the mass majority of what made the collection the collection.
Right.
The storm unfortunately did take that.
It took everything.
I am so sorry.
Well, it happens, and I'm just getting better. We're just going to get better.
Yeah. We're coming up on the year anniversary.
Yeah.
So how, what have you, in your experience, witnessed with the recovery? Anything insightful or hopeful, and even if you don't have anything insightful or hopeful to share, sometimes the devastation you're experiencing, people are gonna identify with that, and they won't feel so alone. So, like, however you choose to answer that is your answer. And
Well, the first thing I am hopeful and thankful for is all the first responders. They were incredible. Bad thing about that is, all the workers here, the traffic was terrible for 3 months. We're rebuilding, we're getting there. I still see a few buildings that are still
quite a few, yeah.
still gone, or still upright that should be torn down. And the government needs to give us more money. We need it. We have to have it. It's
More
gonna
assistance.
gonna make Panama City where it used to be and better.
Yeah.
We need more money.
Yeah. I want to pivot back to something you said, and it's not something we've discussed in any of the interviews thus far, is you were talking about the traffic conditions post-storm. One of the things I noticed coming in during that week is for a solid week. So I'm not sure personal experience-wise whether it lasted more than a week or a couple weeks, but the access to gas,
Oh, man.
the lines were, in the particular scenario I drove through, 2 to 3 hours long just to get to a pump to get gas. And I'm aware of at least up to a week, and if it was longer, that's not something I'm personally aware of, up to a week, you had no access to gas. So
No.
you had to really consider where you were driving,
Mm-hmm.
how far you were driving, to make that gas last as long as it could. Like, there were people running too many errands and getting stuck on the highway because they ran out of gas and they couldn't afford to sit in line for 3 hours to get gas, or there was no gas available. So
Well, the reason why there was no gas because there was so much traffic.
yeah,
The gas trucks couldn't get through.
interesting.
Well, that's
Interesting.
because all the first responders, they were trying to get through, and now all the gas stations, once we got power back. Now, it took forever to get power back in Lynn Haven.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for us, we had to stay on 38 by where I work and commute back and forth to Lynn Haven
yeah,
just about every day, and that took a long time to do. I mean, even going down 79 to 388 to 77, that took forever because coming into from 77 took 3 hours.
yeah. Like,
So-
normally 45-minute routes were up to 2 to 3 hours
If not
to
longer.
navigate through. Yeah, and if not
The
longer.
bridge was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just chaos. That's all it was.
So coming up on the anniversary, you said, you're hopeful for the rebuild. You're hopeful for more assistance to help with that rebuild.
That's the main thing.
I
Assistance.
like what you bring to the table. Rebuild, bring Panama City back, and bring it back better.
This is our home.
Yeah,
I've been here 30 years. I'm not leaving.
yeah. And I'm glad you're not leaving, because it is going to take community members such as yourself. I mean, getting back to work the way he did, right out the gate from the storm, continuing to work through recovery, making it to work every day after losing so much of your home.
I never missed a day.
The resilience, there are no words for that. And
My-
it's going to take members like you.
My wife lost her job. Well, she lost, her place is still being worked on, but she was out of work for probably 2 months, 2 or 3 months. She was working with us.
Yeah.
So,
Now, you're in Lynn Haven.
I was in Lynn Haven, not anymore.
You're not anymore. Okay, because I know with recent rainfalls, even a year after the hurricane, the effects the tree loss and how much water.
Oh, that's
trees
the
soak up.
main thing right now. That's why Callaway is flooding right now, because our trees are gone.
Yeah.
We don't have any more trees.
And you don't realize how much
Oh,
rainwater trees drink up until you lose those trees drinking it
Yeah.
up.
Yep, it's flooding everywhere.
Yeah.
After a 45-minute downpour, it's flooding in Callaway.
Yeah. And it's with the assistance that
Oh,
hopefully will be
yeah,
flowing into the
yeah.
area, we could use
Just
that
bring
assistance to
something to help us.
work on the drainage systems to better facilitate access to for crews to various drainage systems around the county. So that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
that's a lot of thing to do is the
much.
drainage, because since we don't have any more trees, everything gets clogged up, and when it gets clogged up, it floods.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened with the hurricane. we had so much water in a short amount of time that the drains couldn't handle it.
Yeah, couldn't keep up.
So,
Well, I am so grateful that you wanted to come out and share your story with us.
I'd be glad.
Be one of the voices, and you've lost a lot, and my heart goes out to you, and I hope that your recovery continues to be as well as possible. I know we're coming up on the year anniversary, and hopefully with future assistance coming into the area to aid community members like you, your recovery will continue.
Thank you.
Better.
I just hope we don't get another one on the year anniversary. That's the only thing that I'm worried about.
Crossing fingers. But thank you again, Jerry, for coming out.
Thank you.